The GPS said I was 2 hours from the drilling site when the radio crackled to life. All personnel evacuate. Wildfires jump the highway. We're shutting down early. I'd been working the northern Alberta oil fields for 6 months straight, pulling 12-hour shifts in the cold. My daughter Sophia was supposed to be safe at home with my wife Jennifer in Edmonton. I'd missed Sophia's 13th birthday, her school play, and half her volleyball season. The money was good, but the guilt ate at me every night in that cramped trailer. I called Jennifer from the truck. "Hey, the site's closing early because of the fires. I'll be home by dinner tomorrow instead of next week." There was a pause. A long one. "Oh, that's unexpected. Is everything okay?" "Yes, of course. It's just Sophia's not here right now." My hands tightened on the wheel. "What do you mean she's not there? It's Tuesday night. Where is she?" "She's at the Victory Faith Youth Ranch. Remember? The 2-week spiritual development program I told you about? The one Pastor Morrison runs?" I didn't remember. But I'd been so exhausted during our last few calls that half the conversations blurred together. "When did she leave?" "About 10 days ago. Daniel, you said it was fine when I mentioned it." "Right, yeah. Sorry. It's been crazy up here." I rubbed my eyes. "Send me the address. I'll swing by and surprise her on my way home." Another pause. "The ranch has strict visitor policies. No parents during the program. It's about the kids building independence. Jennifer, I haven't seen our daughter in 6 months. I'm not waiting another 4 days. Send me the address." She did, but her voice had gone cold. "Don't embarrass her, Daniel." The address led me 3 hours south of Edmonton, down a highway that cut through endless canola fields. The landscape was flat and yellow under the August sun. I turned onto a gravel road marked with a hand-painted sign, "Victory Faith Youth Ranch, building tomorrow's leaders." The main building was an old farmhouse with peeling white paint. Behind it, I could see a large barn and several smaller structures. A man in his 50s wearing khakis and a polo shirt with a cross embroidered on it stepped out as I parked. "Can I help you, friend?" His smile was wide, but his eyes were calculating. "I'm Daniel Kowalski. My daughter Sophia is here. I'd like to see her." "Ah, you must be the oil worker. Jennifer mentioned you'd be away for a while longer." He extended his hand. "Pastor Andrew Morrison. I'm afraid we have a no-visitor policy during programs. It disrupts the spiritual growth process." I didn't shake his hand. "I've been working in the oil fields for 6 months. I came home early. I'm seeing my daughter." His smile tightened. "Brother, I understand a father's love. But Sophia is on a journey right now. She's learning discipline, faith, and where is she? The children are in afternoon reflection. It's a sacred time of—" I walked past him toward the barn. He called after me, but I didn't stop. The barn door was open. Inside, the air was thick and hot, smelling of hay and something else. Sweat, fear. 20 kids sat in rows on the floor. No chairs, just hard-packed dirt. They were writing in notebooks, completely silent. A woman with severe features stood at the front, holding a wooden paddle. Sophia was in the 3rd row. I almost didn't recognize her. She'd lost weight, maybe 15 pounds. Her hair, usually carefully styled, was pulled back in a limp ponytail. She wore a gray t-shirt and jeans that looked too big for her now. Sophia. Her head snapped up. For a second, her face lit up, then immediately fell into fear. She looked at the woman with the paddle. "You're not allowed to speak during reflection," the woman said to me. Not to Sophia, to me. I'm her father. "Sophia, get your things. We're leaving." Sophia didn't move. Her eyes filled with tears. "Dad, I can't. I haven't earned exit privileges yet." "What?" Pastor Morrison had followed me in. "Daniel, please. You're disrupting the structure. These children are here to learn discipline through faith." Sophia has made excellent progress, but she still has work to do on her pride and disobedience. My daughter is not disobedient. With respect, brother, you've been absent. Jennifer has shared with us how difficult Sophia has been. The backtalk, the questioning of authority, the worldly influences. I looked at my daughter, really looked at her. There were dark circles under her eyes. Her lips were cracked. When had she gotten so thin? "Sophia, stand up. We're going." She stood, but she was shaking. "Dad," they said, her voice broke. "They said you knew about the program, that you and Mom agreed I needed to be fixed. That I was too rebellious and you were ashamed of me. The barn went silent except for my daughter's quiet crying. They said you didn't want me calling you because I'd just complain and make excuses, that you needed a break from my attitude. I felt something crack inside my chest. Sophia, I never said any of that. I didn't even know the details of this place. Pastor Morrison stepped between us. Brother Daniel, you're emotional right now. Let's go to my office and discuss this calmly. Sophia, return to your reflection. No, I moved toward my daughter. Sophia, come here, right now. She took a step, then hesitated. But I haven't completed the program. I won't get my certificate. Pastor Morrison said, without it, I'll fall back into sin, and there is no certificate. Come here. As Sophia walked toward me, I noticed the other kids. None of them looked up. They kept writing, mechanical, like they'd learned not to react to anything. The woman with the paddle moved to block the door. Ma'am, step aside. These children are in our care. We have signed waivers from all parents. You have 5 seconds before I call the RCMP. Pastor Morrison's voice hardened. Those waivers are legal documents, Mr. Kowalski. If you remove Sophia without completing the proper exit protocol, you're in violation of... I pulled out my phone and dialed. Yes, I need to report child welfare concerns at 4720 Township Road, 554. There are approximately 20 children being held here, under... Fine. Morrison's smile was gone. Take her. But Jennifer signed a contract. You'll be hearing from our lawyers about the remainder of the program fees. I put my arm around Sophia and we walked out. She was trembling so hard I could feel it through her whole body. In the truck, she broke down completely. Dad, I'm sorry. I tried to be good. I tried to follow all the rules, but I kept messing up, and they said... She was gasping between words. They said Mom told them I was a problem, and you agreed, and that's why you stayed away so long, and I thought, maybe if I fixed myself you'd want to come home more often. I had to pull over because my hands were shaking too hard to drive. Sophia, look at me. I turned to face her. I stayed away because I was trying to make money for your future, for university, not because of anything you did. And your mother, I stopped. I needed to be careful here. Your mother and I are going to have a serious conversation. But right now, I need you to tell me everything that happened in there, she told me. The 14-hour days, the reflection periods where they sat in silence for hours, the public confessions where kids had to stand in front of everyone and detail their sins, the food restrictions as discipline for pride, the isolation from parents because worldly attachments prevent spiritual growth, the work. What kind of work? We cleaned the buildings, cooked meals, worked in the gardens. Pastor Morrison has a contract with a local farm co-op, so sometimes we'd package vegetables for shipment. He said it was teaching us work ethic. How many hours a day? 6? Maybe 7? After morning devotional and before evening services. Did any of you get paid? She looked at me like I'd asked if the sky was green. Dad, it was volunteer work. For our souls. I drove straight to the RCMP detachment in Leduc. The officer who took our statement was a woman in her 40s named Corporal Zhang. She listened to Sophia's account, asked careful questions, and her expression grew darker with each answer. How many other children are at the ranch right now? She asked. I counted 20, I said, none of them older than 16. Corporal Zhang made a phone call, then another. Mr. Kowalski, I'm going to need you and Sophia to wait here. We're sending officers to the ranch right now. I'll need a full written statement from both of you. It took 3 hours. By the time we were done, it was dark outside. Corporal Zhang came back with an update. We removed all 23 children from the property. Pastor Morrison and his wife Linda have been arrested. We're contacting all the parents now. 23? I'd counted 20. 3 were in what Morrison called disciplinary isolation. A shed behind the barn. Her jaw was tight. One of them had been there for 4 days. We're taking all the children for medical evaluation. Sophia grabbed my hand. Dad, are they going to be okay? We're going to make sure they get help, Corporal Zhang said gently. Including you. I'm recommending counseling services. What you experienced was abuse. And it's not something you just shake off. I took Sophia to the hospital anyway. The doctor found she was dehydrated and malnourished. 10 pounds underweight for her height. Vitamin deficiencies. Bruising on her knees from kneeling on hard floors during the extended prayer sessions. These injuries are consistent with the conditions she described, the doctor told me privately. She's going to need time to recover, physically and mentally. It was past midnight when we finally got home. Jennifer was waiting in the living room. "I got a call from the police," she said. Her face was pale. "Daniel, I didn't know. Pastor Morrison said it was a spiritual growth program. He showed me testimonials from other parents. I thought," she looked at Sophia, "baby, I thought I was helping you." "You told them I was rebellious," Sophia said quietly. "You told them I needed to be fixed. You were pulling away from us, from the church. You stopped coming to youth group. You questioned everything, and I was scared. I thought if you had structure, guidance, you sent me to a place where they locked kids in sheds, Mom." The silence that followed was crushing. "I didn't know," Jennifer whispered. "I swear I didn't know." Over the next few weeks, the full scope came out. The RCMP investigation revealed that Victory Faith Youth Ranch had been operating for 3 years. Morrison had contracts with local farms and businesses, providing what he called youth volunteer labor. The kids worked for free, while Morrison pocketed the money from the contracts. He called it teaching discipline. The law called it labor trafficking. The parents had all signed waivers, but those waivers didn't override labor laws or child protection standards. Morrison had carefully selected families where the parents were either extremely religious, desperate for help with difficult teenagers, or both. He'd isolated the kids, convinced them their parents knew about and approved of everything, and made them believe they deserved the treatment. Sophia started therapy twice a week. The therapist, Dr. Patricia Okonkwo, specialized in trauma recovery. She explained to us that what Sophia experienced was designed to break down her sense of self. They told her she was broken, Dr. Okonkwo said, that her natural development, questioning, independence, forming her own opinions was sinful. Then they positioned themselves as the only ones who could fix her. It's textbook coercive control. "How long until she's okay?" I asked. "That's not quite the right question, Mr. Kowalski. She'll recover, but there's no finish line. Trauma changes people. Our goal is to help her integrate this experience into her life story without letting it define her." Sophia struggled. She'd wake up at 5 a.m., panicked that she'd miss morning devotional. She'd ask permission to eat snacks. She'd apologize constantly for normal behavior. In therapy, Dr. Okonkwo helped her understand that these were learned responses, not who she actually was. Jennifer and I had our own reckoning. We started marriage counseling. She'd been raised in a strict religious environment where questioning authority was seen as dangerous. When Sophia started pushing back against church teachings, Jennifer interpreted it as rebellion rather than normal adolescent development. "I was trying to save her soul," Jennifer said in one session. "I thought losing her faith would be worse than anything else. And instead, you almost lost her completely," I said. "Our marriage didn't survive, not because of anger, but because we'd become different people who wanted different things." We divorced amicably, with shared custody. Jennifer left the church she'd been attending and found a therapist of her own. She and Sophia rebuilt their relationship slowly, carefully. Pastor Morrison went to trial 18 months after the rescue. 23 former residents of Victory Faith Youth Ranch testified. So did I. The courtroom was packed. Morrison showed no remorse. He maintained that he was doing God's work, saving troubled teens from worldly corruption. His lawyer argued that the parents had consented, that the work was educational, that everything was legal. The jury disagreed. They convicted him on multiple counts of child abuse, labor trafficking, and fraud. He was sentenced to 22 years in federal prison. His wife, Linda, received 12 years for her role. The civil lawsuits came next. Every family sued. The ranch's assets were seized and distributed among the victims for therapy and recovery costs. It wasn't about the money. It was about accountability. Sophia is 16 now, 3 years after the rescue. She plays volleyball again, made honor roll last semester, and has a small group of friends she trusts. She still sees Dr. Okonkwo monthly. Some things stick with you. Last week, she came to me with a school project. She'd written an essay about her experience for a social studies class studying human rights violations. Her teacher wanted to submit it to a national student writing competition. "Do you think people need to hear about this?" she asked me. "I think you get to decide if you're ready to share it," I said. "But yes, people need to know how easy it is for abuse to hide behind good intentions." She submitted it. She also started volunteering with a youth advocacy organization that educates teenagers about their rights and helps them recognize coercive control. A lot of kids don't know they're allowed to say no to adults, she told me. I didn't. I thought questioning authority was the same as being bad. Here's what I learned, and what I wish I'd known before. Programs that isolate children from parents are red flags. Legitimate youth programs encourage family involvement, not separation. If an organization tells you that parent contact will disrupt progress, that's a warning sign. Children questioning authority is normal development. Teenagers are supposed to think critically and form their own opinions. That's not rebellion, that's growth. If someone tells you your child's natural development is a problem that needs to be fixed, be very, very careful. Check credentials and references independently. Don't just trust testimonials on a website. Contact your local child welfare office. Search for complaints. Ask detailed questions about daily schedules, supervision ratios, and discipline methods. Trust your instincts. When I first saw Sophia in that barn, every alarm in my body went off. I should have trusted that feeling sooner. If something feels wrong about a program or organization, investigate further. Your children need to know they can call you. Always. No matter what anyone tells them. No matter what rules an organization has. Sophia believed I didn't want to hear from her because that's what they told her. Make sure your kids know that's never true. Free labor is exploitation, not education. If a program is having kids work 6 to 8 hours a day without pay, that's not teaching work ethic. That's profiting from children. Religious authority doesn't override basic rights. Faith-based programs aren't inherently harmful, but they're not immune to abuse either. God doesn't require children to be isolated, overworked, or psychologically manipulated. After everything, Sophia asked me why I came to the ranch that day, instead of just waiting until the program ended. Because you're my daughter, I said, and no program, no pastor, and no rule is more important than that. She nodded. Then she said something I'll never forget. Dad, there were kids there whose parents never came, who finished the whole program and went home and nothing changed. They still think everything that happened was normal, that they deserved it. That's the part that haunts me. Not everyone got out. Not everyone realized what was happening was wrong. Morrison's ranch was shut down, but there are others. Different names, different locations, same tactics. If you're a parent, please, know where your children are. Know what's happening to them. And if someone tells you that loving your child means letting strangers isolate and fix them, walk away. Your kids don't need to be fixed. They need to be protected, supported, and believed. I came home from the oil fields early because of a wildfire. Pure chance. I think about what would have happened if I hadn't. If I'd waited another week, another month. If Sophia had finished the program and come home convinced that everything Morrison did was for her own good. Pay attention. Ask questions. And if your child tells you something is wrong, listen, because sometimes the most dangerous places are the ones that claim to be saving souls.